never replace great teachers. But in Hand of Great Teachers, it's transformational, said by George Corso. Digital transformation is a fundamental reality in present scenario as it transforms our teaching and learning pattern. Keeping in mind this objective, we, the Department of Professional Management Studies from Christu Jayanti College Autonomous, organized this 7 days National Faculty Development Program on transformation in higher education, on educational excellence through teaching research in digital era. Good evening, one and all present here. I welcome you all to the 4th day session addressing to the theme Assessment and Evaluation in Digital Education. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome our leader par excellence, Dr. Jisha VG, head of the Department Professional Management Studies, who constantly guide us, support us, empower us to achieve excellence. I'm extremely elated to welcome all the participants, faculty members from various institutions, colleges, universities, and our KGC family members present here. Now, I take the privilege to introduce our esteemed speaker for the day, Dr. D. Joseph Charles Tamilaran. Dr. Joseph is a multifaceted personality with unique amalgamation of industry and teaching experience, specialized in business analytics, banking, marketing field of knowledge, being a recipient of Best Talented Youth Award. Dr. Joseph possesses expertise in outcome-based education, outcome-based assessment and evaluation, outcome-based teaching, pedagogy as per the National Education Policy 2020, served as a resource person in many prestigious national level faculty development program. Dr. Joseph is a pool of knowledge and skills with reference to handling research data using SPSS tool, innovative teaching practices, game-based learning, mentoring skills for educators. Sir believes teamwork, critical thinking, and creativity is the basic mantra to enhance the quality of teachers, executives, and students' community. Presently designated as Associate Professor, Head of the Department of School of Management, Christu Jayanti College, Autonomous, Bengaluru. On behalf of Professional Management Studies, I welcome you, sir. Now, I hand over the session to Dr. Joseph. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Just give me 2 minutes, just 1 minute.
Meanwhile, I just would like to request to all the participants, do not unmute yourself as it causes inconvenience to carry out the session. Thank you.
Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Jisha ma'am. Thank you, Excelsi ma'am, and for hosting me here today. I also thank Kristu Jayanti College for giving me this opportunity. Um, so very happy to be part of this elite audience and part of this particular FDP. So today's session is on the topic assessment and evaluation in digital education. So I just the following is the agenda for the day. So we start with assessment versus evaluation. What is the difference between assessment and evaluation? Assessment and evaluation in traditional versus digital education system. Assessment and education from the viewpoint of NAP 2020 and NHEQF. Expectations of Gen Z and Gen Alpha learners in terms of assessment. Demonstration to create interactive assessments. I have few demos to show. I don't want this to be a purely a theory thing because assessment is something we have to do. So I'll show you some interactive assessment which we can do it online. List of technical tools which we can explore. That's what is what the agenda for the day. And let me start with this, my favorite slide. So we know that these are the ingredients and it is all required to prepare the tasty chicken biryani. Okay. So in this case, you can just respond to me in the chat. How do we assess the biryani or how do we evaluate the biryani? All right. How do we assess? You can just reply in the chat. So I'm getting based on taste and flavor by tasting it. Okay. By its taste, flavor. How do we expectations? How do we evaluate? How do we assess based on these things? Aroma. How do we evaluate? How do we evaluate the biryani? Some confusion, right? Some confusion. When I said assessment, we got a lot of response. How do we evaluate? Not clear. Okay. So we'll just take a quick, quick poll, and then we'll come back. I'll just launch a poll here. Aroma, visually pleasing ingredients and taste. I just launched a quiz. You can just answer there. Is the poll visible?
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So first poll question is assessment and evaluation the same? Second poll is which one should be done first? Should we do assessment first or should we do evaluation? Or should we do evaluation first and should we do assessment? So we have 74 participants, but we have only very less responses. Okay, fine. I think it's time to end the poll and move forward. Still people are responding. Okay, 24 responses as of now, 25 reached. So I'll end it here. Okay. And this is the result we have got. Poll result. So almost 96% people telling that assessment and evaluation are not the same. Okay. Then 20% of the respondents have said that evaluation should be done first, followed by assessment. 80% of the people believe that assessment should be done and then followed by evaluation. So let me just stop sharing the poll results. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for participating in the poll. Okay, we come back to the slide. Is my PPT visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we'll just see what exactly is assessment, what exactly is evaluation, how they are different, and then we'll decide which one to be done first, or is that question really relevant? We'll see. Okay, so assessment. They say that assessment drives student learning, not the curriculum. A quote by George E. Miller. So assessment is very important. Many times we feel that curriculum and teaching determines learning, but they say that assessment drives student learning, and maybe that is the reason why many times students will come and ask, they don't ask what is the syllabus, they come and ask, can you please give us important questions? Okay, so assessment drives student learning. So if the assessment is of that quality, the student learning will also be of that quality. Many times we teachers have apprehensions that if I ask these kind of questions, student may not answer in the exam. This will be too tough for the students. We just undermine the students. If assessment can be, benchmark of the assessment can be, level of the assessment can be increased, the student will definitely stand up to that particular level. If you keep the assessment level low, the student will be in their comfort zone comfortably. They'll be in that lower zone, and most often we'll see that students would have done better in the examination, but then when you ask some application questions, they are not able to answer. So assessment is very important. Okay, curriculum instructs the teachers what to teach. Exam instructs the students what to learn. So the quote from Donald Melnick. So assessment, what does that mean? Assessment is a way of finding what the students know and can do. It is a process of finding what the students know or what the students can do. Okay, it's a process. Okay, assessment is a process of finding out what students have understood or what they know or what they can do. It is a process of gathering information from multiple and diverse sources. Okay, it's a process of gathering information about the knowledge of the student or what the student can do. Assessment techniques will vary with the learning goals or the outcomes. So depending on what is your learning goal, the assessment technique will vary. Say, for example, a sport like cricket. If your goal is to assess the batting skill of the player, then the assessment will be different. If you want to assess the bowling skill of a player, there the assessment technique has to be different. So assessment techniques will vary depending on the tool. That means there are various assessment techniques. But most importantly, the validity and the reliability of the assessment tool is very important. The choice of the right tool to assess the right skill and how well it is designed will determine the outcome of the assessment. So we are not going deeper into what is and how to frame the assessment. That is not part of this particular presentation. So it's basically focused on assessment evaluation in the digital education system. So just to brief you about assessment, I thought I'll take you through this. So there are different assessment. Of course, one of the assessment instrument is the examination, or it could be through the quizzes or polls, assignments, seminars, case studies, lab experiments, role plays, mini project. It could be anything. Okay. Then the second question. There's a question in the chat. Is a normal distribution a good fit for assessment of students? I'll come to that because I'm yet to finish. So assessment is the process. Then we'll see what is evaluation. Then we'll take the questions. So evaluation is the quantification of students' competence based on evidence that is collected. So assessment is the process of collecting that evidence. Assessment is the process of collecting data about students' understanding of or a particular knowledge or what they know or what they can do. Evaluation is the process of quantifying that particular the information that we gather from the student. On what basis we give 80 marks, 20 marks. It's that process of quantifying that students' competency is what evaluation. Okay, so evaluation is the quantification of students' attainment level of the outcome. Evaluation is based on particular criteria or a norm. Because we are attaching a number to that information which we gather. The assessment could be even an oral assessment or a written assessment, but the process of how we number it, okay, on what basis we give a percentage or the score for that. That is what exactly is evaluation. So assessment is the process of collecting data, and evaluation is the process of quantifying the collected data. Very famously, they say that assessment is the means and evaluation is the end. Okay, so that is what assessment versus evaluation. So now it is very clear, both are different, and there is no question of which one should be done first, but actually both are related. Assessment is the process of collecting the data, whereas evaluation is the quantification of that particular collected data. Now, traditional assessment versus digital assessment. So we are talking about the online education. So traditional versus digital, assessment things, the mode of delivery. So the traditional education system assessments are primarily conducted through the physical classroom setting, and either through classroom activities, or in the exam hall if it is through paper based, or in the classroom it is through quizzes. So that is the traditional education system. We know that digital education system, the assessments are going to be conducted online. Of course, online also you can have examination, you can have quiz, but in online we have other parameters which what we cannot achieve through the traditional assessment tools can be achieved through the digital assessment tools. Okay, so we'll see one by one how they are different in what ways. The second one is the assessment format. So the traditional system where the papers are given in the exam hall, the students would be writing it or writing an essay, or in a lab, they do an experiment, or they submit a project, they make a presentation, or they make a seminar. So mostly it is all in physical terms, face to face. In digital education system offers a wide range of formats, like it could be an online video presentation, a multimedia submission. Sometimes it could be online group assignments, or group presentations, or group projects, simulation based learning, interactive case studies. So different, a variety of things are possible with the help of the technology tools. And we can also gamify it. Of course, in offline also we can gamify it. The online system, also the gamification is much more effective, and it can be implemented with much more student engagement. When I say gamification, you assign the score, you display it, display a leaderboard, who's leading, who's first, who's second, who's trailing, by how many points you are trailing, that game kind of a sport spirit you bring into the learning process. Okay, so that is much more sophisticatedly we can do it in the digital assessment systems. Technology integration, traditional system also we can use technology, we can integrate in terms of assessment. We can have the OMR sheets, we can use some kind of a technical integration is possible. But in the digital education system, it is fully integrated. Even we can go and use some AI powered tools for automatic grading, or automatic quiz generation, or automatic proctoring of the examination. Right, so there are some tools which can be used to detect plagiarisms, all these things. Even the most important thing is the feedback can be automated. The system can give automatic feedback to the student. The fourth point is the flexibility. The traditional education system assessments are timing based. You need to, if you want to do the assessment, you have to come on this particular date. You have to come to this particular venue. You are late means you are not permitted to enter into the hall. So the student says, you are dictating me on your terms. So that is a traditional assessment system, traditional assessment in the education system. Whereas in online thing, a lot of flexibility the student has. The student can take it remotely, even if it is raining, or if it is COVID, or whatever it may be. The student can still take the assessment from a remote location. The student can take it in their own, time frame. They can log into the system, and they can log into the assessment. They can complete their assessment whenever they are free, not based on the time that we set, based on the time when they are free. That is possible in a digital system. Very important dimension, the personalization part. Mostly in traditional education system, the assessment is like something which is personalization is very difficult to achieve. It's kind of for the entire class we give the common question paper. So the personalization is very difficult to implement in the traditional education system, whereas in digital education system, the personalization is possible. Something called as adaptive learning is picking up. We'll see at the end of the presentation what is adaptive learning. There are some AI tools which are available which can help us to achieve adaptive learning as well. And sixth dimension is the feedback mechanism. The traditional education system, of course, we do the examination, we correct the answer scripts, we give it to the student. How many of us really sit with the student and tell them that hey, this is where you went wrong. That's why you lost 5 marks here, you lost 10 marks here. It's very difficult to find time to sit with each and every student to tell where they have gone wrong and things like that. Maybe you would have done it as a class as a whole. You would have revised the question paper and told the students that most of the students have, they have not answered this question properly. This should have been answered this way, or most of the students have given a wrong answer. This is the right answer. You can take it as a whole again. One-to-one personalization kind of feedback is very difficult to achieve. Of course, the personalized feedback are face to face. It's very effective. If you get time, it will engage the students much better, but still very difficult to implement. Whereas in the digital platforms, immediate feedback is possible, automated feedbacks are possible, real-time insights are given. Even self-assessments are possible, peer assessments are possible, teacher assessments are also possible in the online digital platform. The seventh dimension is the proctoring and the academic integrity. Of course, the traditional examination system, the invigilator will be there to invigilate. It's all the in-person physical mode of monitoring. Whereas in the digital system, we in fact, if you can recollect after the COVID, manually we used to monitor it, but nowadays AI-based tools are available. The tools are continuously, they monitor the student's eyeball movement, any noise in the hall where the student is taking the assessment, any people moving around, or any kind of abnormal body movements or behavior of the student is continuously monitored by the system itself through the help of AI tools, with the help of the camera, the mic system, even through the the programs which check whether the students use multiple tabs or multiple screens do they open. All these things. Most of the companies nowadays, they take up online assessments. They use online AI based proctoring tools as well, which is very effective. Very quickly it spots. It doesn't flag somebody as somebody's cheating, but then it triggers an alert report to the test the admin, and says that there is something fishy here, and then that can be manually verified. So such kind of a proctoring is available nowadays. The eighth dimension is the data analytics part. Limited data analytics, but here in digital thing, you get a lot of opportunity to understand where the student is lagging, what is the particular strength and weakness of a student, which concept the student is comfortable, which student is lagging, to which level he has crossed. All these things, the data can be provided as a report both to the student and to the instructor as well. So what we understand is certain things are possible in traditional system, which is not possible in the digital platforms. Certain things are possible in digital platforms, and certain things are not possible in the traditional platforms. Certain features of assessments are very easily implemented in physical traditional system. Certain aspects of assessments are very easily implementable in the digital platforms, and sometimes it is very complex in the traditional platform, but it is very easily achieved in the digital platform. So should we go for digital platform, or should we go only for the physical traditional platform? Of course, we know that wherever possible we can nowadays include the digital platforms. We are not negating that we should completely remove the physical traditional platforms, and we should go for completely the digital platform for assessments. Wherever required, we need to identify to the specific course, whichever course you are handling. Wherever the traditional method, if it is very effective, you go for the traditional assessment. Wherever the digital assessment is effective, you can implement, you can explore the tools, and then you can come up with innovative assessments that will enhance the student engagement and student learning experience. If the question for that is yes, if the engagement is increasing, if the learning experience is increasing, if the competency can be tested much better in the digital platform, yes, definitely we need to go for the digital assessment tool. So we are not dumping that this shouldn't be used at all, but we are trying to find out where exactly we can use the technology to our advantage. So quickly we'll take an assessment as well here in between. I'll just post a assessment link, which we can utilize. Just give me a couple of seconds. I will post a link in the chat. You need to click and you need to just key in your name and things like that. And once you do that, I will show you a PIN number, which you need to feed it in the application. I posted the link. Just click on the link and give your name. I think you need to choose an avatar. Choose that. I will just share the PIN number. So I'm posting the PIN number 6253011. PIN number is 6253011. So using the PIN, you can log into the quiz. Yeah, people are joining. So we have 85, including me. We'll see how many logs into the quiz. Okay, we have 20 participants. We are running out of time. Can everyone quickly join before I start the quiz? Okay, 20 only are there. So let me start the quiz. Is the quiz showing? Yeah, people are responding. Quiz is showing. I think this is a free account, so only 20 can be included in the quiz. Okay, so the first question, the right answer is gamified assessments and simulation. So only 20 people are possible because of free account, not a problem. Okay, here are the scoreboard. Gautami ma'am is leading. Okay, so you need to answer faster. Okay, you need to answer quickly. Moving on to the next question. Okay, the right answer is turn it in. Are you able to see the leaderboard? Are you able to see the leaderboard? No. Okay. Then I'll share my screen. Now are you able to see the leaderboard? I'm yet to start the next question. Okay. My screen is visible, right? Okay. Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. On my screen, you can see the question. Okay. So I'm going to the next question. Yeah. Maybe in the app, you're seeing only the 4 options. On my screen, can you see the, is my screen visible? I will,
Yes, sir. Screen is visible.
yeah.
Scoreboard we can see.
Yeah. So now I'll give the next question. Question, you can see my screen, and the answer you can give it in the option. So now question is still visible at the top. Okay. Correct answer is remote access and self-paced assessment. So the scoreboard. Okay. Next question. Question is on my screen. In which education system is feedback typically provided after completion of assessments, often taking days or weeks? Okay, correct answer is traditional education system. Now in the Zoom, it is showing in the Zoom, the question is displayed in the Zoom. Last question. Okay, scorecard. Last question. What role do AI-powered tools play in the digital education system? What role do AI-powered tools play in the digital education system? Okay, correct answer is automated grading, real-time feedback, adaptive learning. Okay, so end of the quiz. Okay, third place. I don't know who's this. 837. Second place, Ravi K. And first place, SS. I don't know what's the name. Okay, runners up are also there. Fine. Okay, maybe I gave very little time for the quiz. I should have kept 20 seconds. I think I have kept 10 seconds. Okay, fine. Just a second. Okay. So assessments and evaluation in NEP 2020. Holistic. Assessment should be holistic and it should be multidimensional. Means it should not only focus on one type of, one type of skill or one type of the things. It should have multiple competency. It should measure multiple skills. It should measure. The assessment should be, the objective of the assessment is not just to measure the memorization or recalling ability. It should be competency based. For each type of skill, there can be a different assessment. Generally, we use, for most of the things, we use one assignment, one examination as an assessment. But if the assessment can be skill based, what the student is able to do, then the assessment automatically will have to change. So the assessment needs to be changed according to the competency which you are trying to inculcate through your course. Usage of AI and digital platforms was advocated in NEP 2020. 360-degree report card reflecting self-assessments, peer assessments, and teacher assessments. Modular examinations spread out throughout the year. So not just the summative assessment, the assessment needs to be on a continuous basis. Okay, from NHEQF, National Higher Education Qualification Framework, The assessment should be outcome-based, goal-based. The assessment should be continuous and it has to be a comprehensive one. Multiple modes of assessment has to be followed. Usage of AI digital platforms was recommended in NHEQF. Assessment needs to be skill-based. Evaluation has to be rubrics-based. Assessment should focus on a particular outcome, particular skill attainment. The evaluation needs to be based on a particular criteria or a rubric-based. We're not going to much deeper into find out what is a rubric and how to design. That's not the objective of this particular session. Now, those were the recommendations from the NEP and NHEQF. Expectations of Gen Z and Gen Alpha. So this is the generation which we teach in our college, in our classroom. What do they expect? And in fact, this is the hyper generation that we have. What do they expect in terms of assessment? Before that, we'll take a quick poll, this time not in Kahoot. We'll do it in the Zoom itself. It's a poll. I'm launching the poll. You can just respond in the Zoom itself, not in the Kahoot. The post is live. The poll is live now. Yeah, if you want, I'll go to the previous slide and then you can decide which is there in our campus. Okay, again, mixed opinions. Okay, fine. Almost 25 people responded. I think I'll end the poll. Okay, I'm ending the poll. I'm sharing the result. Okay, which gen is there in our campuses right now? Gen X, Gen Y, Gen Z, Gen Alpha? Definitely not Gen X and Gen Y. Gen Alpha is still in the school and Gen Z is what we have it in our campuses. When will Gen Alpha enter higher education institutions? Again, confusion. If somebody is born in 2010, if you give plus 17, they will be like 2027. They will complete their board exams. 2028 is where we can expect the Gen Alpha into our campuses. Okay, so what are their expectation? Did I stop the poll sharing? Is the poll sharing stopped? Yeah, I'll stop sharing. Fine. Okay, so what are the expectations? So the Gen Z and Gen Alpha, they prefer technology enhanced learning. When the learning happens through technology, of course, these are the digital natives. Not only the learning, everything happens for them in technology. So why not assessment using technology? They value personalized learning in the classroom. It's a one-to-many, like idli cooker. You make all idlis in one cooker. Batch processing, we call it in production operations. Whereas online, it can be customized. Personalized learning paths can be created. Gen Z prefers personalized learning. Gen Z and Gen Alpha, they prefer active and interactive learning ways. They don't want to be a passive listener in the classroom. That's why in our colleges, we have attendance percentages. They don't want to sit inside passively. They want to do something, get together. Mobile, on-demand learning. You don't specify that you have to come by 9 o'clock in the class, you have to sit till 4:30. These people would require, like, whenever I feel like learning, I will learn. Whenever I don't feel like learning, don't compel me to come and sit in the class. On-demand learning, mobile learning, collaborative learning, their learning experiences are better. Student engagement is better if they are engaged in a group platform. When they collaborate and learn together in terms of group projects or group presentations or whatever thing you do it as a group, rather than giving them an individual task. The engagement level with this generation is good if you engage them in a group activity. Continuous evaluation and instant feedback. Generally, we have the summative assessment at the end, and so students also learn towards the end only. In one of the meetings, one of the uh, experts said that we may teach a student the whole semester, but the student actually requires one night before the exam to prepare for the next day's exam, and then he still scores 70, 80 and gets distinction. That's what this generation is. They just require one night to prepare. Then what are we going to do? That's why in the first slide I told you assessment drives learning, not the curriculum, not the teachment. It's not the teaching, it's the assessment which is going to drive the learning. Then why do you have the assessment at the end in the summit in the format of summative assessment? Why can't we have the assessment on a continuous basis? If you keep the assessment spread across, that's what NEP also told. Why NEP said that? Why NHUKF is specifying all these things is because the generation has changed. The generation is liking that. Okay, they don't want to be at the end, and moreover, it creates a lot of stress in the students. And at one point, they have to put all their stuff and they have to prepare and they have to score in the exam. If it has been continuous, the assessment, if it is continuous, like after every module or after every particular skill or after every particular month, if it's on the time dimension, the assessment timeline is spread out, the stress will be spread out, and the learning will become continuous. Students will soon or later go away with the habit of doing everything at the end and the last minute, and then everything will become in a flow. So and then there is a work learning style. This generation, they appreciate the work learning style. What is that? We are visual form of learning, auditory form of learning, kinesthetic form of learning. Of course, the read and write, we are not neglecting reading and writing. Learning still happens, but it's not the only way to learn. Like you need to read the textbook and you need to write in the exam. That's not the only way of learning. There are other sensory organs this the new generation learners, digital natives, they use. So why don't we implement these types of teaching learning? Not only the learning, of course the assessment also can be with the help of the digital platforms. So because of this nature of this particular generation, NEP 2020 and also in NHUKF, lot of propositions were made in terms of migrating from the traditional way of teaching learning, also the traditional way of assessments, to move into the digital way of doing it. Okay, and they also value flexibility and self-directed learning. So they need a lot of flexibility, like as I said, they don't want rigid timings, like in those days before ATMs were launched in the banking industry. People used to take leave, half a day, one day leave, and then they go to the bank to complete one cash withdrawal or cash deposits. But nowadays we do it on the go, and we have the flexibility. Even at midnight, if I want to send some money to my parents or my relatives or my friends or wherever I want to do, I want to, like, late night, I'm hungry, I want to order something in Swiggy, I'm able to make the payment. In those days, this kind of flexibilities were not. That's the same way in terms of learning and assessments also. The student gets a lot of flexibility in terms of they can decide when they have to learn, at what pace they have to learn, and when they are comfortable, when they are ready to take the exam, they will take the exam. Not that I decide that you should take the exam on this date. They come up with their own time, and then they will do it in their own flexible time. So because this generation expects all these things, because and we are migrating towards the student-centered learning methodologies, the assessment has to be also requires a lot of change. So we know online assessments. I don't want to demonstrate you how to create a quiz online, but certain things I would like to highlight. The platform that I used for the quiz is the Kahoot platform. I think few of you might be familiar. So this I took the Kahoot platform. It's a free account. You can have it, but the only problem is for the assessment, I can only give it only to 20 candidates. Maybe we have to go for the paid version. If the institution is ready, if the institution is okay with this, it's not only for the quiz. You can do a lot of things in the in Kahoot platform, and they can subscribe for it, and then you can utilize it. And as an individual teacher, you can just log in, and then you can create your own profile. And once you go, you can go to the home tab, and then click on the create button, and then you can create your Kahoot interactive lessons with polls and quizzes. A lot of options to explore. Of course, nowadays they have integrated AI tools here. It's all paid version. Suppose my notes are in PDF format. Say for example, notes on a particular concept, say management information system, or a notes on say 5 C's of lending, or whatever it may be the topic. I have a PDF notes. I can upload the notes as a PDF. The Kahoot, based on the notes in the PDF, the Kahoot will generate a quiz, and then it will generate the quiz, which we have to just host it. These kind of things are possible, but of course, all these are not available in the free site. And you can click on the blank canvas, and then you can create your own quiz here one by one. You can post the quiz questions, the options here. You can select the time limit, how much time you want to give, uh, and then you can decide on the points, and you can just duplicate. Once you create it, you can duplicate, and you can create multiple questions like a PowerPoint. You can create. So this is a one easy platform which all of us can do. But if and whatever tools available, everything is on subscription basis. With the free subscription, you get a limited account only. And another thing, like I'm not showing how to create the quiz. Another platform is the H5P platform which we can use. The H5P is something which we for the online digital platforms to create some digital assessments, interactive assessments. We can use the H5P. So you can go to the h5p.org, and you can just create an account there. So I just created an account, and then you can go to examples and downloads, and it will show you different interactive things that you can create with this. And I just created a crossword. So here is the crossword, and you can create a crosswords like this. I created a crossword similar to that. I'll show you. And instead of taking it through a normal assessment, we can take it through these kind of interactive assessments with the image background. So they have created some assessments here. So I'll just show you the thing what I created. So I created one crossword here. I'll show you what I created, and then I'll show you how to create this. Again, here the free version is limited. It has got limited usage. Okay, so this is what I created. This is based on the concept called 5 components of information system. And here I have given the clues here, followed by things a student can just type it. So I just typed the first one, hectic bureaucracy. So the expected answer is procedures. The second one is fellow beings, which is the people. The third clue is intangible, which is the software. And the fourth one is the bridge, which is the data. And I will give it purposefully wrong. I'll give it as beta. Fifth one is physically sensible, which is going to be the hardware. And I give check answer, and you can see one thing it says it's wrong answer, other things have come. And I can give retry and then I can give the right answer. And now it says excellent. So the feedback is also shown here. You can see excellent, move forward to the next topic. So instant feedback can be possible. And then, these kind of interactive things can be created. And I'll just show you how to create this very quickly. So you can just click on the create new content. And then here, the crossword is already there. I have to just click on this. And I get a template to create the crossword. I can give a title, say for example, 5 C's of lending, and then task description if you want, you can give, and the clues you can give. What can I give? You know, mm, the ability to the repayment ability. The answer is capability. Okay, and I have a lot of settings here I can set. Second word, I can add it here. The attitude and intention to pay, which is the character. Okay, so like this, I can create a couple of things, and I can give the score ranges. Like I can give it add a range. So 50, the right answer, and themes you can give, and behavioral settings. Okay, whichever options you want. If you don't want to give retry option, you can remove that. If you want to give solution, you can give solution. If you don't want to display the solution, you can remove that, and then just save it. So once I save, my crossword is ready, and the student has to give the answer here. And this is how we create the crossword, and this can be downloaded or embedded to an LMS. I'll show you how to download and do it in on the LMS. If in case your institution is having an LMS, or if they can subscribe, you can click on this embed and you can copy this code and you can paste it in your LMS. And this will be part of this lesson content itself. It will come. Or otherwise, you can click on the reuse button and you can click on the download as H5P file. This will be downloaded as a H5P file, and this can be loaded into the LMS. Of course, there are various LMS tools available. Okay, there are various LMS available: Moodle, Canvas, Blackboard Learn, Google Classroom, Talent LMS. At Kristu Jayanti, we use our own LMS that was built on top of the Moodle, and we have incorporated various plugins as well that could be used by the teachers. We don't exactly go to the H5P portal and create an interactive content. We can directly create the H5P content in the LMS because it is already, the plugins are integrated. We use the KJ LMS for both teaching learning and also for the assessment as well. So I'll just quickly go to our LMS. I'll show you how the downloaded file can be incorporated. And so here is our LMS. Okay. And so this is for the course on transforming business through information technology. The crossword which I created, I have included it here. And if I click on this, sorry. Okay, so I'll show you how to include this. So I have to click on the add an activity button, and I have to go to the H5P, the resource here. For some reason, it's not opening. Okay. Okay, that option is not working for time being, maybe something wrong in our LMS. Okay, so here I'll show you in the LMS itself how to create the same thing, the crossword. You can just type crossword, you get the crossword. So the same template comes in the LMS itself because the HYP plugin is already integrated. So we can directly create the crosswords here. And then I have to just give the activity completion criteria, any time restrictions, grading criteria I can give. I have to just save and then I get the uh, interactive assessment in the LMS page. So I'm not again creating this. I'll show you what I have created. So this one was downloaded the HYP file. It's not opening as of now. So I'll show you the other one which I created using the plugin itself. So here I use the drag and drop one. I'll show you how to use it. So here there is a small assessment where the student has to click and drag. The right side, a couple of words are given. Student has to click and drag and drop it in the respective boxes. So dash is the degree to which captured data correctly reflects the real facts, which is the data accuracy, right? I don't know why it is not working. Okay, I'll go to the student mode. So student has to just click, drag and drop like this. Okay, I just randomly dropped it and they can check the answer here. They get the feedback, 0 out of 5, requires a committed effort, retry. And then again, the student can retry that. Okay, second one, data is managing required attributes provided, data completeness. Okay, I'm just randomly taking it. Okay, now let me see what is the score. And you get 2 out of 5, need to reattempt it. So until the student completes, he can take multiple trials. And so like this, something I just showed, there are so many different options available. Um, Under interactive content, so many things we can use for our, so this is the drag words which I used. You can have the fill in the blanks, guess the answer, interactive video. When the video is played, in between the video, we can have a quiz. Mark the words, memory game can be created, personality quizzes. With images, we can have some, interactive stuff. Now, all this can be used for the assessment as well. So the drag details is what I showed you now. Same way, I have to just click on use. And here I need to give the title, say 5 C's of lending. And then I have to give the task description. It is optional. Here I have to give the statements. So if I have to type like say 5 C's of lending is widely used by the banks while deciding on a loan application. Approval. Okay, so like that I can create the intention and the attitude of the borrower is denoted by. So I have to give the next word as the blank, which I have to give it in asterisk. So I use asterisk and I give character, close the asterisk. So this will come as a box, and this word will come in the side. I can also give some other word to confuse the student, which I can give it as a distractors, and I can assign the marks here, and I have to just give the activity completion criteria, grading criteria, and I can save and return to the course. Thereby, the the interactive content will be created, and even in the dashboard, I can go and see the activity completion status. So my activity is here, the drag and drop. This is the activity, and I can see how many students have completed here. Okay, so the green color ones are the students who have completed, the blank one student have not completed. I can also go to reports, download their score, and find out, who all have completed and what scores they have scored. Everything I can monitor. So interactive, learning can be created in the LMS. These are some of the tools which are being widely popularly used for proctoring and plagiarism checking. ProctorU, all are AI-based, ExamSoft, Responders, and Turnitin. And these are leading tools which are used for learning and assessment, GradeScope, Socrative, Kahoot, which we showed, Dreambox, Inspira. And there's something called adaptive learning, which is really possible in on digital assessments rather than the other assessments. So adaptive learning, how it happens is according to the level of the student, uh, the content, the assessment, everything will vary. So say for example, there are 5 different levels of the student: level 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. If the student is at level 2, he will not be able to, level 2 in the sense difficulty level. The question, if it is posted at level 3, what the AI will do is it will post a question at level 3 and checks whether the student is able to answer that question. The student answers it wrong. The next question, it will post a easy question which the student is able to answer. So thereby it tries to understand whether the student is at a level 1 or level 2 or level 3, and accordingly it will give the questions, and after the assessment it will give the content accordingly. So the student has mastered the level 2, so he has to migrate to the level 3. Then the level 3 content will be given to the student for learning, and once he completes the assessment will go to the level 3, and then slowly it will go. So this is called adaptive learning, very personalized one-to-one kind of a thing, which is possible in the digital platform. So that's what adaptive learning is all about. There is also there are certain very popular tools which we can use for adaptive learning: Newton, Dreambox, Alex, Century Tech, Edmentum, Exact Paths. These are some of the uh, adaptive learning tools. They can also be used for other kinds of assessment and learning, but they also can be used for adaptive learning concepts can be implemented using those tools. So what we have learned today, the difference between assessment and evaluation. Assessment and evaluation in traditional education system, digital education system, how it differs. Assessment and evaluation, what were the recommendations in terms of NEP 2020 and NHEQF, expectations of Gen Z and Gen Alpha, which actually drives us to migrate to the digital education systems and assessments. Demonstration on interactive assessment creation, which I showed you in Kahoot, and also using the H5P platform, and also in LMS, how it can be created, I showed you. I also listed out few popular technology platforms. So I always end my presentations with this quote: education is the most powerful weapon we can use to change the world, and we teachers are privileged to use this as a weapon which we can use to remove the unwanted things in the minds of the young people. And a good education can change anyone. A good teacher can change everything. It's up to our individuals. I have just given something during this particular session. It's our personal efforts which we need to spend a little bit more time understanding the newer generation and their expectation, and to learn and equip ourselves with the new technologies which we can use it effectively in the classroom and also for the assessments. Thereby, our objective of enhancing the student engagement and their learning experiences and competencies could be achieved. Thank you for patiently listening to my session. Any questions, I'm free to answer.
We are overwhelmed with the knowledge shared by Dr. Joseph on the theme Assessment and Evaluation in Digital Education. I express my deep gratitude to our resource person, Dr. Charles Joseph, for being our source of knowledge for this session. I also thank our head of the department, Dr. Jisha VG, for inspiring us to organize this fruitful event. I thank technical support members of our department for extending support to organize this session successfully. The journey of sharing knowledge is not yet over. We will assemble here again for the day 5 session of this FDP, Faculty Development Program, on 25th October to continue with this knowledge sharing session addressing to the theme Enhancing Research Viability and Citation by Dr. Paulomi Shaha, St. Aloysius Deemed to be University, Mangalore. Once again, I thank one and all present here to be a part of this August event. Thank you.
Madam,
Have a great evening.
Madam, good evening. Session is we need to have some question answer session, right? So participants might ask question.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah. Anybody is willing to ask any questions can always ask.
Sir, myself, Dr. Nagesham. I'm assistant professor from Central Tribal University of Andhra Pradesh, Vijayanagaram.
Hi, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, of course, it was a very good presentation, and you made us to have an exploration of how the technology can be a boon in assessing and evaluating the students. And my question, in reality, of course, this is very much practiced when it comes to the urban area. So where we have a strongest network and the the maturity of the students to be a part of the assessment and the evaluation process. But how it could be a best instrument when it comes to the students who are a part and parcel of the rural area or a remote area who doesn't have a much more expose of these technologies, okay, how we can make them to be adaptive to these kind of technologies and to make them to be a part and parcel of this assessment and evaluation process in the technology.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Very good question, sir. So number one, as I said, we are not replacing the traditional system. And wherever possible, wherever feasible, we can try to adapt this. Number two, second thing is, even when the ATMs or when the touch screen based ATMs, all these things were coming up, everyone had apprehensions how this will reach the rural areas or how people will be able to do it. Even technology geared up, even people in the rural areas, they started using the mobile phones, they started using the ATMs. So that's the nature of human being. Slowly we'll start to learn and adapt to new things. Okay, the only thing is the infrastructure part, how these things can be implemented in rural places. But coming to the ability of the student to grasp these technologies, definitely the students will grasp it very faster. Maybe we teachers may, even when the COVID time, if you can recollect when we have to, when the lockdown was there, suddenly we had to go to the online sessions. We found it very difficult to manage or to adapt to the online things, conduct a session there. But then the students were, very quick enough to do it. And I believe that, once the infrastructures are ready, these things definitely they will be able to handle it much better. In fact, more than physically you deliver a content and then you go and do the assessment, the main one of the major advantages of the digital technologies, this can be easily taken, like from here I can create a content, I can post it to the whole world. But the infrastructure, as you said, infrastructure has to be there. The computers, the networks, the the hardware, the softwares, which powers the things. If those things are there, definitely these things can be implemented, and the children are really fast learners. In fact, our own the late ex-president Dr. Abdul Kalam is not from the from the city side. He was born and brought up from a village, rural area, and then eventually he grew. But he is our role model, and all these things are definitely possible. That's what I believe. So.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, sir. Just I want to put it one more example here. Like we we stay nearby to the border of the Odisha. Okay, so where we have visited, visit to the some of the places nearby, the tribal areas and all, where the people are, literally for the usage of mobile and to transact through the whatever the ATM that you quoted actually to usage of that, the people take a mediator help, and that mediator will make a money. Okay, for each transaction he charges 5 rupees and 10 rupees. Okay, so this is what the condition in reality what I'm telling. Okay, of course, as you said, like the students are very quick and they are technology prone right now, and they are making themselves to be using all the technological support what we are having or availing. So, but as you mentioned, of course, when it comes to the infrastructural facilities, what is required? So when it comes to the range or the network, whatever we can provide from our side, I think probably that would be a major, a change that we can see in the development of the education system. So
Definitely.
that could be one of the best part we need to take care in order to strengthen, as you mentioned, the technology would be one of the best tool to assess and evaluate the students.
Definitely, sir. Definitely, that is a curse of technology. Also, the digital divide, which is bigger challenge, which
Yeah.
we have it in the society as well.
Yeah.
Like the extreme situation, even for the tribal people, even the physical, the traditional method only taking is a big challenge. Definitely, I agree,
Yeah.
sir. The challenge
Exactly.
the government has to look it into and set the infrastructure and things in
Yeah.
place.
Thank you so much for your patience listening and for the well explanations.
Thank you, sir. And there's one agri company called as Jayalakshmi Agro.
Okay.
They have created an app for farmers. It was
Okay.
very interesting. Like, most of the farmers that are interior parts of Karnataka, they have implemented. They're all
Okay.
uneducated. They cannot read and write.
Okay.
But what they did was their app is full of only buttons, icons with images. So say, for
Uh-huh.
example, crops, all crops like coconuts, sugarcane, everything is
Okay.
shown in pictures. So when the farmer, clicks, say sugarcane, and then it shows, everything in like disease means shown in some other icon,
Okay.
insects shown in one icon, like that.
Sure.
So they can keep clicking. And say if I click on insects, then it shows a list of insects. And if I click
Insects.
one particular insect, there comes one video. Somebody comes there and says that what is the name of this insect, when it
Okay.
comes, if it comes, what the farmer should do.
Farmer should do. Okay.
People are making attempts, but it takes a lot of time.
It
As
takes a lot of time. Exactly. Exactly. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Any more questions?
We invite any more questions anybody is willing to ask. Any participants? Okay. Thank you so much. Participants, please note the feedback form is available in the chat box. Kindly fill the feedback. Kindly fill the feedback form. Thank you, sir. Thank you for being with us
Thank you,
for
ma'am.
this 1 hour session. We are very overwhelmed with the knowledge sharing related to assessment and evaluation practices that we can adopt in our teaching career.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. We'll end the meeting, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Have a great evening to everyone.